it's me again, Vince Carl Daya. So for today's vlog, it's kind of different because we will having a educational vlog for this time. So for today's educational vlog, we will be discussing the climate change, specifically its causes. So without further ado, let's begin. But before that, let's define first what is climate change. So climate change is a long-term change in the average weather patterns that have come to define Earth's local, regional, global climates. These changes have a broad range of observed effects that are synonymous with the terms. So in short, climate change really affects the lives of the people, and also not just to the people but also the all living things living here on Earth. So that was climate change. So now let's move on to the main discussion, which is the causes of climate change, so that we can easily understand why there is climate change. How about first the natural causes of climate change? So first on the list is the volcanic eruptions. So volcanoes can impact climate change during major explosive eruptions. Huge amounts of volcanic gas, aerosol droplets, and ash are injected into the stratosphere. But volcanic gases like sulfur dioxide can cause global cooling, while volcanic carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas, has a potential to promote global warming. Next is the ocean currents. So ocean currents act much like a conveyor belt, transporting warm water and precipitation from the equator toward the poles and cold water from the poles back to the tropics. Thus, ocean currents regulate global climate, helping to counteract the uneven distribution of solar radiation reaching Earth's surface. And also next on the list is the orbital changes. So how does orbital changes affect climate? So the Earth has natural warming and cooling periods caused by Milankovitch cycles, or variations in the tilt and orbit of the Earth around the Sun. So if there is high amount emitted, there will be an increase in Earth temperature. Next on the list is the solar variation. So how does solar variation affects the climate change or affects climate change? So the resulting imbalance between incoming solar radiation and outgoing thermal radiation will likely cause Earth to heat up over the next century, accelerating the melting polar ice caps, causing sea levels to rise, and increasing the probability of more violent global weather patterns. Greenhouse gases. So why there's a greenhouse gases affects climate change? So greenhouse gases have far-ranging environmental and health factors or health effects. They cause climate change by trapping heat, and they also contribute to respiratory diseases from smog and air pollution, extreme weather, food supply disruptions, and increased wildfires are other effects of climate change caused by greenhouse gases. Next is the cutting of trees. So cutting trees will adversely affect the atmosphere in numerous ways. It increases the amount of carbon dioxide gas in the atmosphere, which ultimately leads to global warming. So we all know that trees help in binding soil, but when there are no trees at all, and then it will lead to soil erosion. So these are the purifier of air. So without the trees rather, we cannot easily breathe the fresh air. And next is the coal mining. So how bad is coal mining for the environment? So we all know that coal mining increases the risk of loosening topsoils into streams and waterways, and the sediments pollute our water and can smother plant life downstream and even kill fish. So coal has traces of sulfur and nitrogen. When burned, they are released into the atmosphere. Next on the list is the fossil fuel. So when fossil fuels are burned, they release nitrogen oxides into the atmosphere, which contribute to the formation of smog and acid rain. So the most common nitrogen-related compounds emitted into the air by human activities are collectively referred to as nitrogen oxide. Next is the industrial processes. So the rapid population growth associated with industrialization is also a cause of global warming because of the increased levels of harmful emissions. A larger population leads to increased demand for products, higher levels of production and consumption, and inevitably elevated levels of greenhouse gases. And that's all guys for my vlog. I hope you learned something from this video, and if you haven't subscribed my channel yet, please do subscribe now, and see you in my next vlog.
Never mind all our worries. If you